Hello, Mur in both chats. Alright, back at all this. Sorry about the half-hour delay. I had to fucking entirely redo my, hang on, let me turn on the music. So it's not competing with me. Yeah, I had to entirely redo my whole fucking camera setup for a bit. I think a cable went bad or something. And I was having a lot of issues with, my computer's been acting up again. So I'm probably gonna have to take it back in. That will suck. I don't wanna get, like... I don't want to have this be a thing where it's like going to a doctor, or I take my computer into the computer repair shop and they just keep telling me, like, there's nothing wrong with it. Welcome, Mars. Okay, I'm gonna close all those. Mark is red, mark is red. Okay. VGM suggestions. There we go. Here's one, here's one. That one. Alright, and then I'll have to scroll up. Alright. Okay. Let me get a drink. Did the music just... is it gone? Oh, there it is. It was just too quiet for me to hear. Alright. Let me get something to drink, and then I will be on camera in a minute. I'm apparently in my cannot fucking drink water era. This happens so much when I'm like getting ready to stream. Where I'll be like rushing around and I'll just go to drink water and just fucking wrong pipe my fucking water and have like an ugly coughing fit. Off mic. Okay. So, I'm here and live on, I think, both platforms now. Where's the other tab I had? There we go, yeah. We're live on both. All right. So, eventful weekend. Before I get into all the... I'm still sorting out my, like, layout here. So, it's been an eventful weekend. April Fool's Day was over the weekend. Please refrain from drowning yourself while drinking water. I should try to remember that. I'll be better about that. But yeah, over the weekend, I put out a new song on Patreon on the 31st. And so that is, this microphone is pointing away from me. Hang on. Fuck this. I'm not having these bullshit levels. There we go, that's better. So, yeah, I put out a new track on the 31st. And that was it. I did nothing on April Fool's Day, as you know. Nothing happened. It was entirely uneventful. And, yeah, now I'm here. All right. Let me dim the music, and then I'll get into the actual, you know, what I'm supposed to be doing this stream. Silence. Hello. I'm even more pink. I'm pinker than ever before. Yeah, totally nothing. Yeah, that was wild. That was the wildest April Fool's. It seemed like the theme for this April Fool's Day that everybody kind of came to, at least like the best April Fool's jokes I've seen, were like the non-jokes. I don't know if I should point my camera down a little more. I feel so short in the frame. Because there was that Sonic visual novel thing that actually looked like it was like done well and apparently had been in production for a year. And it was an official Sega licensed fucking thing. That's the insane part to me. Turn this up. All right. Can I fucking see my shit? Stream. All right. Did not hear about that? You didn't hear about the Sonic visual novel? The murder of Sonic the Hedgehog? Sonic the Hedgehog is fucking dead in the game? Let me just turn this. Fuck it. Yeah, let's do that. Now I know. I've been off Twitter generally. I saw a lot of people on Twitch streaming it. I saw some of my friends streaming it. But I also had the same idea of like a joke that kept coming up in the stream and then just actually doing it as like not a joke. And that was fun. Okay. That's that. So, that's I covered everything. You can still see the fucking me writing the album art on this whiteboard in the back here. Didn't realize. Didn't even notice that was there. I was too caught up in fixing my setup. All right. So, let me get my incognito window open again, because I closed it. All right. All right, so there are some recent suggestions. One is from the Resident Evil 4 remake, and I think that would be fun to do. Grace submitted one from Story Shift. Or Story Shift Original Remix Resolved. Okay, I can't actually tell what the title of the game is. Okay. Dust Tale, The End of the Line. There's a Metallica song that I know called The End of the Line. That was one of my favorites off of Death Magnetic. What else do we got? I don't think I did the Xenoblade one. I don't remember doing that. Mechanical Rhythm from Xenoblade Chronicles. I could do that. And there's another Final Fantasy one, which I could do, but it would probably have to sit unposted. So I might get to that. But I think I'm just going to go up from the newest suggestion here. And let's do the Resident Evil 4 one. So, the remake is all of like the music re-recorded. Is it like the same as the original? But just like higher production value? Like what's the... Or is it entirely different? Is it a like different soundtrack completely? I'm not that familiar. I have a lot of friends who've been playing the shit out of this game. But I have never played through a Resident Evil game. So that's my context with this right now. Let me, real quick. There we go. Okay, yeah, there we go. Right, I just had to get my fucking laptop out of the way. Oh, is this frame cutting off some of the... Let's move that down a little bit. Not that, though. And that. Yeah, there we go. Let's just put this back where it was. It's like here. There we go. That's much better. Yes. All right. This is the save theme music from Resident Evil 4, the remake of Resident Evil 4. This was suggested by Spoonie. Let's listen through this whole thing. I will give vibes first and then analysis. The beginning of that, it's pretty reminiscent of the beginning of the Mist theme. Very distant guitars. A lot of like tuned ambient wind noises or like white noise. Pan flute. Oh. I like that chord change. That's looping. That sounds like the intro again. This is very mellow, and I imagine that in a game like Resident Evil, just getting to a save point is probably like the biggest reprieve, like the biggest like check from the action. I love those string swells. And they're like doing like a tremolo thing. They're not just like holding out the note. Now they are. And I think they're just doing the chords that it was moving through before. Yeah. It does that string thing once before it goes back into just the percussion. That's that moment of reprieve, right? Within
the best way to...
I don't care. Hang on. A concept like this must nest in its execution. Let's go back through this. Okay, this is made up of like a few chords and a lot of like percussion and ambient elements. But those chords sound interesting to me. Let me figure this out. I'm hearing that. Turn myself up a little bit. So I hear that. What else? Maybe? So the first few notes that I'm hearing are like an F sharp with some other things up top, mostly just because of the melodic notes over that. There, I'm definitely hearing a seventh. Something like that, maybe. It's something along those lines, right? But that harmonic seventh interval, it does sound really cool in like contexts. You know, like if you use it up at like different kind of upper, like if you use it among other color tones in a chord, it can sound really, it'll just become part of it. It sounds really harmonic when it's used right. But when you just have it over a root like that, and it's the most prominent thing, where there's like just bass and then the 7 root, it creates a kind of inherent tension. Yeah. So it jumps from a 7 to a 9 in the upper like accent stuff over where the bass is. It sounds like the bass moved too. No, it's still down there. I heard the bass move up a 5th. Or no. What was that? What was that move there? Oh, that's a, the bass moves up a half step, it sounds like. From where it was. No. It moves up a 6th. Because it ends up down here. Right? Okay, that's weird. So it does that sort of thing with like a lot of spooky colors over it. And it sounds like it steps through the major 6th to get to that minor 6th. I gotta come back and watch this later. It's the save music. Oh, you weren't here yet. Welcome, Spoonie. I thought you were saying that because of like spoilers or something, and I'm like, I mean, wait, no. Thank you for suggesting this one. Yeah, and then it jumps down to now we're in C sharpville, right? Or D flat. So where we started was a 4th up. Queen Snarf is gifted Queen Snarf is gifted a sub to Pumpkin Mars. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the moon next to your name, gang. All right, so welcome, Queen Snarf. Okay, so where we started on this I don't exactly know, was it... Alright, yeah. So we have basically something that's in the territory of F sharp minor when it starts. Like doing this sort of thing, right? And then there's this shift in the chords where we end up on D. And then it seems like it just uses that to step down into the root. So we've technically done like a, like chord-wise. And maybe the rest of the piece will consider this like the one chord. I don't know. But so far, it's just a few slow chord changes with some interesting bass movement underneath it. Okay, yeah. So we start on a 3. Jump between the 3 and the 2. This is the upper melody, by the way. That is what seems to be the upper, like, string part. So it starts out by helping us spell out this C sharp minor. Right. And then it just sort of returns to it, right? So the melody in this case is just sort of letting us know we're in the C minor scale. That's what it feels like. No. No. Yeah. Okay. So I think we did in the intro actually, like this was the 4 chord, right? And we've now entered into C minor town. Right? Or C sharp minor town. Found out yesterday my daily walk route is 5 miles. What the fuck, you walk 5 miles every day? Sorry, I had to pause the music. That's nuts. This is a great soundtrack. Yeah, I'm liking the vibe of this. Apparently. I mean, that's good. Keeps you healthy. I did that whole thing with that video I was talking about, like how much less healthy you get if you don't walk that much. And like people, like populations in parts of cities with like less places to walk to, people generally have worse health. How do you walk 5 miles without knowing? Yeah, I used to like run 2 miles. And I was very aware of that every time I did it. I got COVID, I stopped walking a mile a day. I mean, it doesn't... you still get COVID. It's not like being healthy means you're now invulnerable. I wish. I know if you drink enough water a day, if you get the recommended water amount a day, you become impervious to bullets. It's true. All right, let's get back to this. Where were we there? I think I see what's happening. Okay, now we're back in C sharp minor. Yeah. I'm hearing that. Then we jump to the 4, which was the F sharp minor that we started with. Hold that out. When it goes to that, cycles back around to that, they hold that out before they give you the on the bass, which is like really like holds out the tension. Even though things kind of like sort of fade away, just the fact that it has now moved to a place where you just feel like it's gonna land on. But they don't give that to you right away once the rest is over. There's still a... I like that. That's a C sharp sus2. Okay, so I'm hearing that. Like a D sharp sus2, God. Like a C sharp sus2, and then it moves to it's something like that. Okay, that note stays. That sounds like, yeah, F sharp minor. So it's... Yeah, it's doing that. So it's just hovering between the notes of like a C sus2 and going up to the 4. No. How? Wait. That. So these are... Or it may be... It may be an A6. That also makes sense. Yeah. So what we have is... Wait, where's the A? Okay. We got C sharp sus2 in the notes of this like string arrangement, and they slide down. This one going to, I believe, a 6th below. And then all of the other upper string voices sort of just slipping down into appropriate intervals of like an A6-ish chord. Yeah, and then that basically fades out. So this is revolving around a few interesting chord motions. One of them is we start with this F sharp minor right off the bat, I'm pretty sure. Ah, it's 2 beats later than you expect it too, when it does that. It's drawn out so long. So yeah, we start on F sharp minor, which is like the 4 of this whole thing, it sounds like. And then we start moving around C sharp minor for a while. Only after doing a like chromatic step, a slow chromatic step, like a down with the bass line to get back to 1, or to get to 1 in the first place. And doing that, landing that way, definitely makes that dun dun sound more impactful as like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the root, this is the home of this currently. Even though it starts on a different chord, and even though it's like a long ambient piece, it's very clear to me that is home. And then from here it moves, it does like a 1/6 thing. Where it moves to A. And then I think from A, I think it might move back to F, and then back to C. I think that's how it's working. No, it just goes to C. From here, So it's a fairly simple set of motions, giving us like a 1-6 and a 1-4. But in this, this execution is great though. That's the thing, is just with those simple few chords and like relatively basic chord changes, they managed to make all of the voices and make all of the timing of the different entry of the parts sound engaging. You know, this is probably supposed to be one of the more calming songs in this game, I would imagine. But it still does a lot to hold out and elicit tension, which is something you can do with more ambient focused tracks like this, because the thing about music is its tension and resolution. You will be fine with hearing like a, no, like a, I was gonna be like an ugly chord. You would be fine with hearing that if the next chord is, you know? Like, you would, like, the way that we perceive, like, tension and resolution, you are always waiting for the resolve. And when it does move to things, it does move to, like, simple resolutions. But all of the little melodies, you know, that kind of stuff that happens up top, is adding all of the intervals you need to keep it in like minor territory, to keep it in the spooky territory, if you will. And I do like that. It's just a 1-4 and then a 1-6. I like that. F sharp. Okay, there we go. All right. But this is the save theme from the Resident Evil 4 remake. And that was suggested by Spoonie in the chat. Thank you for this. This is very calming. Sorry, I just had this window closed the whole time, so I'm getting fucking B-roll where I can have a thumbnail. But yeah. So, this was the Resident Evil 4 remake, the save theme music. In terms of a rating, as far as like save point music goes, this is done really well. It is definitely not, it can get away with not being so much of a song, or not having a whole lot of compositional elements to it, by virtue of it being a save theme in a horror game. And it's sort of obviously carrying the weight and the instrumentation and the thematics. There's those like guitar lines in there that I feel like are supposed to be evocative of like Spanish flamenco guitar, you know? It sort of places it where the setting is. And I think that it maybe, like, I don't know how much more you can do with trying to get like cultural folksy, like Spanish, like Franco-Spaniard kind of like traditions into your horror game music. But little touches like that is like really all that it needs. And it uses all of its elements pretty judiciously. And still sounds really cool and has a couple cool chord changes that threw me off initially, but that are actually pretty simple. So I would give this one a 4. That's a 4 for me. That's a waxing gibbous out of full moon. That's what I'm thinking. Ah. Drink my tiny protein shake. And let's pull up another. Thank you for the suggestion, Spoonie. All right. Oh, there's another track from Chicory that Queen Snarf suggested. What else? What else we got? Let me scroll back up. Dust Tail. Xenoblade. All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? So, okay, I think I'll do the Xenoblade one. I think I'll do the Chicory one. And I think I'll do the Final Fantasy one. I think that's gonna be my trajectory today. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. So let's pull that up. Pull up the Xenoblade. Pull up. Did we do the Trauma Center one? I don't remember. Did we do a Trauma Center one? Because there's one here, Severing the Chains of Fate. I feel like I did that one. I don't remember. I don't think so. Severing the Chains of Fate sounds familiar to me. I remember seeing it, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that one. I've been so tired. I still fully haven't caught up on sleep from staying up super late to finish the song and also all the work that went into the April Fool's thing. I've been sleeping fucking terribly. Oh shit. What was... Oh no. Let me get back to my chat. What was that? What are the redemptions? I gotta stretch and hydrate. I should do that. That's a good idea. Ugh. Oh yeah, my shoulders have not been stretched like this for a bit. Oh, God. Hydration yoga. If you do the right poses, it's called waterboarding. Like what I did in my fucking self before stream started. I was like, I'll be right back in a second, gonna grab some water, and then took a sip while walking back, and then spent fucking 2-3 minutes having a fucking coughing fit while my shit's muted. Alright. Alright. Okay, I have those 3 pulled up. I'm gonna, hang on, let me peek at the Trauma Center one to see if I recognize it. I don't recognize this. I don't think I listened to this one. Well, what day was this suggested? Oh yeah, okay, so that was, yeah. Okay. At least I was muted, yeah. Right? Think waterboarding is against TOS? Yeah, probably. Welcome, Salvador. Okay, yeah. Let's do the Final Fantasy one. This looks like Final Fantasy 14. The name of the video is Super Sentai Final Fantasy. I don't know if that is the name of this track or if that's just a description of it. It says Alexander Midas 4 fighting the final boss of the wing. Oh my god, what was that? Thank you, Queen Snarf, for gifting the tier 1 sub to Salvador. Welcome back to the having the moon in your name club. Alright. Alright. Who suggested the fucking Final Fantasy one? Who suggested this? Okay, this was Stellar Kuma in the chat. Suggested Super Sentai Final Fantasy. It's 5 minutes long. I'm curious what that means. This looks like Final Fantasy 14. It looks like a boss fight from Final Fantasy 14. Let's see what this is. There's all the sounds. This is not... I can't do that. There's too many sounds. Okay, maybe, okay. Maybe I can. Does really nobody has this song by itself? Damn, okay. Let's just, okay, we're just gonna ignore all the sounds. There's that sus motion. That was sus 4 into 3. Some like dad rock riff. Okay, I definitely see that they're going for like an era of like Super Sentai like credits music. Which maybe unfortunately kind of just also sounds like the kind of music that is in these games anyway. So for me it's hard for me to read this. Particularly as like a Super Sentai like reference song. They got a big triumphant chorus going on though right now. Sounds really heroic. There's like this computerized singing voice that was going the whole time that I could not understand a word of. Maybe it's just texture. Sus 4 to 3, sus 4 to 3, do that a couple times. Yeah, there's that disco run with the strings. Early Sentai had a lot of that. That vocal delivery sounds like fucking Rammstein. Yeah. This hits like stock music to me. This almost just sounds like YouTube Music Library, you know? Like that tier of stockness. There's this weird, like, you know, robo voice, singing voice over everything that's weird. But like other than that, compositionally, I don't know how much I'm gonna have to say about this. And then it fades out. Okay, thank God. All right, I'm gonna go back through and explain this, but this one's a 2. Okay, so first off, yeah. So it sounds like we're starting in C minor. Or something like that. Okay. So we move to the 5, and in doing so, yeah. In moving to the 5 chord, we start doing this thing. This is the genuine This is the genuine sus motion, right? This is genuine suspended 4 into 3. It just hits us with that a couple times, which is a very cinematic soundtrack kind of cliche that you can use really well, or you could just abuse it like that. Okay, yeah, another mark of originality. It's that 1 flat second. So we get 1, and then we get the half step up, and then we get the 7 to the 1, and jumping back to that. That's every kind of like half of the bass lines in a lot of the boss music we've looked at does some form of that in some way, shape, or form. So we have that. That's another cliche it's got going for it. Yeah, and it jumps back to C. It's doing something like that. Get a little bit of that, a little bit of this 7 to 1 kind of thing going on here. So it's just doing something like that on the guitar, and it repeats that line a couple times, changes it up to a modified version of it. Yeah, and then we get to like a verse structure, I guess. Fuck. Where was I? Yeah. It's doing something like that. So it's basically now jumping between... It's 1 and 5, right? This is the same note as... So... And we're basically doing some little walks up and down. Yeah. Actually, technically, it's going from 1 to 6. But it is just using that fifth with it. And sometimes we go down to 4. And it does a little like 5-6 thing, right? Then it goes back into that riff. Okay, and we got like a little funk guitar thing up top, doing like a... Sounds like it's doing some sort of open C5 thing. That's a typical thing in like pop punk music or like theme rock music, or just, you know, just having something that's playing essentially a power chord or a light chord just on the root over whatever else is moving and going on, sort of pedaling the key tone back into it. Yeah, and when it starts that disco run, it runs up and it ends on the root up top. And then just swells on an octave below it. All right, so yeah, now this is the. Okay, it sounds like there's a pre-chorus and a chorus here. So we start on, I think, 6, then go to 1, then go to 4, and I think 5. I think it's doing that. Knocks on that 5 for the last chord of that section, which is the usual fare. Then we start bouncing on the 6 here, this A flat. And I think I heard that. I think it rises up. Yeah, that's right. It does that. Yeah, and then instead of doing like a 6-5 to fall to go back, it actually does a more smooth transition and goes from 6 to 5. I'm sorry, goes from 6 to 7 to 1. And unless I'm wrong, it sounded like it changed to major. Ah, it actually modulates up a fourth. So now we are in... Actually, it doesn't have to modulate. It actually just moves up to 3. It moves up to our 3 of our C minor scale, which is an E flat. And it sounds like an E flat major. Ah, and it sounds like we're getting like an old like blues or like 60s kind of chord progression, like 50s kind of chord progression. Yeah, so we go from the 3 down to 1, and then go to 6, and then 7. Unless you want to consider this to be the major, and then this is 1, 6, 4, and then 5. So now that I say that, the fact that this is doing like a 1, 6, 4, 5, and the other part of this was also sort of doing a 1, 6, 4, 5, but in like a minor key, it sort of is modulating the chord progression, you could say, but it's still keeping it in the same key, the C minor. Yeah, it's one of those kind of chord progressions, right? You get some 6, 7s. And then down to the 5. And then down to the 1 of C minor, that is. Melody just kind of climbs and falls, being layered with brass and sounds like the guitar and stuff too. And then it loops back around to the... All right, so that's basically everything to this song. It sounds like there's I basically said everything that I've already wanted to say. This sounds like stock music. It is. I don't know if it's like just because I've listened to so much JRPG music and all these anime songs and stuff. But like all of them have had some kind of unique like character to them. This one, the character to it is that robot voice over top. And if that wasn't there, this may as well be stock music. It sounds so generic. And minus extra points for this video having the fucking battle sounds in it. I think that the aesthetic of the disco stuff, like the old school Super Sentai kind of like theme song thing, I think that could have been more incorporated and interesting. This was just some kind of simple chords forced into like emulating a style that is already too much like the style you would like expect from something like this, with weird robot voices over top. And glad you like the RE4 save theme. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestion. Anyway. Yeah, this hits a bunch of cliches in a row. Especially when it does that. Where'd it do that? Yeah. I think, like, sus motion, in my opinion, is fine if you do it once to get to the 3. But I feel like it's aggressive. Well, not aggressive, but unnecessary, right? To just do that for a bar, to just be like, yeah, we can do that. If you're gonna fucking throw in like sus notes, like commit to them. Like have them stay there as pedal tones. You know, like do something a little more interesting. I don't know. Maybe the style doesn't permit it, but this one's just kind of boring to me. This is a 2 out of 5 for me. If I was gonna rate it, 2 out of 5. That's a waxing crescent out of full moon, which, you know, don't feel bad about that. That's what my icon is. So, but thank you for Stellar Kuma for that suggestion. One day, someone might suggest something from Final Fantasy XIV that I think is good. Eventually. But I appreciate all the suggestions regardless. All right, what else do we got here? Mechanical Rhythm from Xenoblade Chronicles. This also sounds familiar to me. But I don't remember doing it. I've done like 60 of these or something so far. I think that's the next one. Let's do... Eventually. Let's do the Xenoblade one. This is Mechanical Rhythm from Xenoblade Chronicles, suggested by Mur Rowley in the chat. And let's listen through to this whole thing, do vibes first, and then listen back through and do analysis. Okay. That's some cool riffage going on. Okay, yeah. Whenever there's good guitar in a song, like, you know that somebody had to play it. You know that there is talent involved here, right? If anybody can throw together a zillion string samples and do something like this, those drums might also be real. notes are like uneven enough that just uneven enough in the kick that I think that those drums are real. Okay, we've modulated. This is super hype. And we're ascending. Yep. Okay, yeah. Predictable anime section. Dun. Back to this breakdown. The drums are so like crazy all the way through that like when it does that breakdown, you really feel it. Oh, we got a clean section? This sounds a lot like the Welcome Home Sanitarium. Yeah, there's some cool fucking riffage going on in this song, I gotta say. Even the strings are riffing. Okay, then back into that breakdown. But with faster drums now. And we modulate up. There's that fast pull-off riff again. Yep, and then does it again. So we get that big triumphant section a few times, that big, you know, the anime section. That fucking double bass, that... Oh, you can't see my knees anymore. Now this is in the way. You can't see when I mimic the double bass. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. These are too scandalous. They're just too far out of frame. All right, let me back this up a little bit and listen to the last minute of that because I had to do something. That da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, that is a thing both with battle music, but also with like the kind of heavier like metal music that this is trying to incorporate. You can hear it. You can hear the kick is doing like a counter when it does the da 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 da. There's a rest, and then the kick does a da 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 da. Like that's really cool to me. That clean section really reminds me of like old Metallica stuff. I think from here we start fading out. Fucking moth. Okay. Yeah, this sounds pretty cool. This has some interesting, some cool elements. It's gonna play an ad. Give me 1 second. Yeah, there's a lot that I like about this. It does have a generic anime section in it, but that's fine. There's a lot of cool other stuff going on around it, and I wanna investigate that. Yeah, what are we genting in? What tuning? D. That's higher than I expected. Doing something like that. Yeah, and it's doing some of that. So, what this is trying to tell us where the fuck is the fuck do you mean B flat no 3? Okay, that one. Okay, so as you can see, the chord tones that it lands on are all D minor. So we're just in D minor. This is a drop D jam. That's what this is. You tune a guitar into drop D, you detune the lower string of a guitar in standard tuning, and that just opens up like a da-da-da. This could also be D standard though, but something about the nature of having drop D and having like a lot of like pull-off riffs, it's just kind of natural because you can just flat finger a full power chord on the bottom 3 strings of a guitar if you do a drop tuning. And it's D. And I feel like drop D is a bit more common than D standard. So that's just me guessing. Yeah. And we're getting, I think we're getting a tritone substitution. Ah, finally I can talk about a tritone substitution. the tritone sub, or the TT sub if you're fucking spicy. So basically, there's like a zillion different explanations for this that all sort of make sense. But in short, there's something called the authentic cadence, where you have your root and you have your fifth. And especially if we're just playing open fifths, there is just an innate, if you move away and to a fifth with a home key, you are going to want to return back to that point of reference. It's just a very open, it's the furthest harmonically that you can be away from the root and still be totally consonant, and be more consonant than anything else that's around it. So like, so when you do resolves and resolutions, a common thing to do is you look up to the fifth of the fifth, right? Which is a 2, as you can see the readout says, of the root we started with. So if you take this note, drop it an octave, so that it's right next to your, so it's actually the 2. It's still the same note, and the harmonic movement is technically the same. If you do, instead of doing doing this and then stepping down to the 5 and then stepping down to the root, that sounds cool. That's definitely a cool sounding thing, right? That just sounds satisfying. But you can also get the same-ish effect if you do that, where you start on the 2, you go up to the 5, and then you go back down to the root you want to be at. So that's called a 2-5-1, right? Now, the interesting thing about this is the weird thing about this, I should say, is that when you're at this 2, you have to jump really far away, technically, to a different chord shape, and then back down to the root, right? Then back down to root. So, is there another way you could get the same sort of effect from a resolution that doing a 2-5-1 does, without having to move so much, and to make it sound more interesting? So, there's if I do like, let's see, yeah, this is our 5. I think there's that. So, let's say that we want this to be major, right? We want this 5 to be major. And that means that the major interval, right, is 1/2 step below where our root is. And we can suss with it. It's right there. So if we're in, so we want to imply that sort of motion, right? Where we're going to that major 5. So one thing we can do with this, right, is actually, okay, I'm going down a very complex path here. Let me just explain this, okay? This is the simpler way to look at it. If you have a root or a note, you have any number of intervals between these 2 octaves. And there are only a few, there's only one actually, where you can reach the octave by stacking the same interval once. And it is right in the middle. It is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up from the lower octave, and then 6 down from the upper octave, which puts it right in the middle of a 12-note scale, right? This is the tritone. And that means if you were to build a chord around this tritone, which, you know, whatever that ends up being. Okay. It will share the same, like, tritone chord thing going on with your root. And this actually, if you were to do a 3 chord, and make it a dominant chord, this tritone is what is baked into that chord, right? So that's where that interval relation comes from. Why am I talking about all of this? Because when you use a tritone substitution, and you are substituting the 5 in a 2-5-1 for this interval, what you were doing is you were going 2, flat 2, 1. And that is a chromatic descent, and you could just say, oh, it's just a chromatic descent. But there's actually a lot of music theory that explains why that sounds better than other kind of chromatic descents, like in a musical context. But yeah, long-winded explanation for a simple chord change. I could have just been like, here's a tritone substitution. It sounds like this. But now you know why it's called that. Because it's a tritone of the 5. It's filling in for the 5 chord. And it just so happens that you can do that a half step up from the root, which sounds really cool to fall into, you know? Sweet Snarf is gifted a sub to Corgi. Thank you so much again for the gifted sub. Welcome back to having the moon next to your name. Something like that. What is that? What is that emote? Oh, it's this. It's the Snarf Gremlin. It's so that was hard to see from here. Oh my god. All right. What time is it? Oh, it's already 4:10. Damn. All right. It's going to end up being a shorter stream because I got to go eat at like 5. I probably won't stay up too far past 5. But yeah, let's get through the rest of this at least. Versions aside. All right, and then that's interesting. When we jump up, we are actually starting a half step lower than the root. And I guess we're modulating to this key now. So it does that thing It does that anime thing. We start on, you know, this D flat, the C sharp is our new one here. And then we go to C, and then we go to F. And then step down E flat, and do that. Right? And then we jump down to, I believe, 4. No. Yeah. No, 6? Where the fuck are we? Hang on. Yeah, so we do 1, 7, 3, and then 6, 7, 1, 2, and then I think it jumps into the breakdown. Ah, and then it has like a short... It has like a short break where it's doing that. Like an F diminished sort of thing. I think it's just this. Yeah. Now we're in F. Yeah, and then it just kind of does like a weird guitar thing, and then it jumps right back down into the D. Yeah. And just modulates back to where we started. Yeah. It does something like that. Lands on the 5 so it can jump back down to 1. Then we jump back up to... F. And then it takes us to this clean part. And it's doing something like that, just also staying in D minor. It sounds like it's doing some kind of bass motion on the guitar, but it's hard to make out because it's so filtered. Then we're back in D. Those sound like kind of pathetic when I play them on piano, but like that's like riff-wise, that shit's really solid. My guitar's a little bit out of tune. It's also not plugged in. I just want to see if I can figure it. Yeah, so that's actually a pretty simple thing it's doing. It's like pedaling on the, can I aim my lavalier microphone down? It's just doing that. Except, you know, I'm hitting extra notes because I'm sucking right now. But, there's just some cool riffage like that I'm hearing. Yeah. So there's a section where it does the... And then it does like a... You know, fiddly guitar thing, and then goes back down to just D. And then it can hold out that kind of D power chord and have other rhythm stuff do it. Have other rhythm stuff like under it, and then just do that. And just do stuff like that over it. And that kind of, like the fact that they have this whole like orchestral string backing and everything adds a lot of weight to that. But this song is about the riffage. Like those riffs were not added as an afterthought. The song is built around those riffs. I can hear it. Yeah. I like the interludes. Yeah, it seems when it jumps to that triumphant anime section, it pretty much is just modulating to a different key. And it sounds like F minor. We're missing one chord from making that a rickroll, right? If it went up to 2, then that would have been the rickroll. But they saved us by having that just stay a little longer. And then they give it to us after. Then they give us the 2 after. All right. Yeah. Yeah. And then we go through more of that. So that sounds like most of the song. That sounds like the majority of what's going on here. There's some string backing, there's some cool like little production flares that happen. But there's riffs and a couple simple battle chords. I really like the execution. That's the thing. Is I really like all the riffs. I like how they sound. I like how it does some things to sort of like hold off tension. it uses that like anime chord progression kind of as a chorus, right? As like a triumphant reprieve from the rest of the gentery going on, right? So I think this one I would give. I think I would also give this one a 4. This is another 4 from me. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Mechanical Rhythm. There isn't a whole lot that's very mechanical about it. It sounds, because the guitars sound real. All of that stuff that's like up front sounds like it's real, like actual recorded. It sounds very human. But either way, whatever vibe it's trying to paint, it goes hard. And I like it. I like guitar riffs. I love hearing real, actual, like, recorded guitars and instruments that have interesting parts. That seems like a rarity in a lot of this here video game music. But I dig this. This would be a 4 out of 5 for me. This is Mechanical Rhythm from Xenoblade Chronicles. Definitive Edition. If that makes any difference. And thank you in the chat to Morelli for that suggestion. Waxing Gibbous. You'll give me a sec, I got one for you. Oh, I just saw from Jeppo. I was just looking at your older suggestion, never mind. This was fun. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. I like that one's vibe. I can dig that one. I'm so tired. Oh, I need to stretch more. I need to wake up. I should have made like green tea or something. All right. Let's see. I have one from Chicory and one from Trauma Center left. And I think I could do those. I'm going to try to get going by 8 because that's when I got to eat my food. Ugh. Take a nap. I'm probably going to go to sleep early tonight. I'm probably going to try to, I say that so often, like tonight is the night I catch up on sleep, and then I don't. Then I don't do that. I've been saying that like every other day for the past like week, and I just don't. I don't get any more than a normal amount of sleep or not enough. Been trying. No, wait. No. A couple days ago, I woke up at like 2 p.m. I think yesterday I woke up. No. I can't remember anymore. I slept a very long time recently. Let's do. I had the chicory one.
When you get
No. Don't tell me about my creamy peanut butter Pick and Save brand peanut butter. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. This had auto-played to a different track. I had to pull it up again. But this is Abandon Me from Chicory. This was suggested by Queen Snarf in the chat. Let's listen through to this thing. I'll get my vibes first. And then analysis. Let's check this out. Okay. Some slightly changing upward arpeggio. Sounds like the bass is changing, but the top is mostly staying the same. Okay. Now we're getting more of a melody at the top. It sounds very underwater. sharp 7-1. And then it drops. It did like a fake out drop. It put the drums in and then it took them back out for a second and then it started again. Oh, now it's chopping it. I like that those sound like a vocal sample, like it's chords being made out of a vocal sample. Or like a cut up chord. All these little like cut off. Really fast cutoff shifting. You can hear the little bit of the ramp when it feels that. Speeding up. Okay. It's a fun little synth melody. All the layers building up and coming back. I love that bass. Okay. We'll get back to the chord swells and the arpeggio. The arpeggio sounds more natural now. It's no longer that like flat digital sound that it was near the beginning. Somber exit melody over the arpeggio. God. Okay. This has some interesting shit going on. There's a few parts in this boss battle where a character just screams in intense sadness. Is this a game of intense sadness? All right. All right. There's a couple interesting things here I wanna break down. I think it's doing that. Like a B sus2. Oh no. I think it's doing that. It's spelling out, okay, yeah. No matter how it's voicing it, this is spelling out like a B sus2. So right away we enter in without a distinct major or minor feel. Yeah. And we're sort of just playing around with sevens and other upper intervals of a B. Then we drop a sixth. And it sounds like the upper part of the chord doesn't change. Right? It's something like that. Yeah. Intense sadness, the game. Yeah. So we're doing a little bit of wandering up in the top arpeggio and playing more of a melody. Something like that. Yeah, and now we're doing a 1/6. The sixth is just, I am sort of, you know, that's a pattern that I've just kind of picked up on over the course of doing this. I would expect the 5 to be the interval that gets most used, other than, I mean, like the interval that the root that gets most used. No, I mean, fucking the chord in scale function, the scale function that gets the most used in a key, in any given key, but so many of them operate between, hovering between 1 and 6. The 6 is very useful, and it seems to have a very specific vibe to it that just works in a lot of, you know, you can put a lot of stuff over top of it, and it sounds interesting. Because it's the sixth is usually like the relative minor of a major chord, but even if you're in minor, it still sounds interesting. It still sounds like, you know, like, it's that sound. It's almost like the bass itself is almost like a funeral march. You know? And there is a little bit of like forebodingness to that, and that seems to be a texture that like everything pulls in, at least at some point. just the major, or the I'm sorry. This is just the minor interval that makes it a B minor. So we're climbing up to that, climbing up to the minor interval, the unhappy interval. Yeah, and then we end up on a 7th of our 6, right? Which is a G major 7. No, wait. Yeah. Which is a G major 7. Right? Yeah, and then as the bass comes in and as everything drops, it moves up to the 7, and then just last right during the build, 7, sharp 7, 1. The opposite of the tritone substitution. Where you step up and do that. Yeah, and then once we're here, bass and everything is just kind of pedaling on B for a bit. Sometimes it's gotta jump to a minor 3. That's cool. Yeah. All right, so we've started back in on a melody, and it's also starting on a B, ending on a F sharp for this first phrase. So we're already just still spelling out more B minor. Yeah. This is a 2. Right? What's interesting about the kicks there is they offset the second time they go through their cycle. Like the first time it's very like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like it does like a double hit, and then we'll like 1, 2, 3, 4, and like it'll start hitting on the offbeat, and it throws things off ever so slightly, but that makes that part cooler. Thank you for stopping by, Mur. Have a good evening. So that just sounds like the vocals are like fourths, I think. Like a harmony of 2 fourth voices, like 2 voices a fourth apart. Yeah, it's something like that. mostly just hovering around notes around this first fifth of the B scale, right? I'm hearing it jump to like 4 and just do that for a bit. And those are all blurring the B. So it basically, you know, it does some B minor keyboard spam up at the top here for the melody. Like, it's mostly picking intervals around the chord tones, trilling between them, and then moving up to do that again. And it's still, I think that bass-wise, I think it's still doing that 1/6. Yeah, 6, 7. Then 5. And then 1. 6. Then 7. And then down to 5. Then we go back to 1. Okay, yeah. So we mostly, when this builds up, what it's building up is like to a 1, 6, 7, 5 progression. That's the extent of what it builds up to. It doesn't play around too much with crazy chords or crazy intervals. It mostly just has a really thick thing doing the bass line behind everything. And the arpeggios and the melodies sort of spell out the chords, if that's anything. There's a few simple things that are happening in this, and it's really well produced. And the blend of sounds and instruments, you know, having the pan flute and having, and am I right about at the beginning? Does it? Yeah. Is this a different sample at the end? It sounds like it's layered with another sample at the end. Yeah. And it kind of, so the texture of the track changes over time. Like that is another element of like video game composition that can mean a lot more narratively and environmentally if the tone of the track changes and builds and is altered over time while there's still like a through line between everything. Because you can tell, because the margins are so much wider in what you can really get away with in video game music, you can go from that soft, twinkly, kind of like mallet and pan flute sound to just really heavy like that, and it'll sound, it'll still sound coherent. I do like the execution of this. I think it is simple, but it does a lot with its simple elements, and it avoids being too cliche. It avoids sounding too cliche, even when using a couple things that we've heard a few times before. But I would give this one, I would give Abandon Me from Chicory, if I had to rate it, I would give it a 4. This is another 4 for today. That's what I'm thinking. That's a 4 out of 5. It's a waxing gibbous. All right. It's 4:49. Do I have time for one more? I can try to fit in one more. There was another one that I was going to do. You know, I may not be able to. Hang on, let me check. What's happening? Okay. Yeah, I got some time. Okay. I feel like the Rhythm Heaven one, I feel like it's gonna steal my blood. I mean, I hope not. Maybe it'll be easier. The Trauma Center one already sounded fucking insane. Right from the get-go, a lot of crazy piano chords and stuff. So I think you know, let's take a shot in the dark. Jeppo suggested this Rhythm Heaven shoot 'em up. Rhythm Heaven shoot 'em up, perfect. Is there a way I can get just the fucking like sounds? Rhythm Heaven shoot 'em up, no sounds. Perfect. Shoot 'em up, Rhythm Heaven. I think this has got to be just the song, right? As an ad. Okay, let me make sure that's the same as this one. No? Or no, that's the intro? Yeah, okay, fuck all that. I don't want all that shit in my timeline. All right, let's just listen to the one with the song. Right. This is Shoot 'em Up from Rhythm Heaven. This was suggested by Jeppo in the chat. Let's check this out. Okay. That's some like DS sampled ass guitar. It's like sampled clean guitar though. That's interesting. Just made crunchy by the compression of the fucking DS. That totally sounds like a GarageBand preset, I'm not gonna lie. there's not too many chord progressions that are changing. This is different. Yeah. Got this plucky section. All right. The drum's been pretty steady the whole time. Okay. Now it says food is 15 minutes away. Okay, that's fine. Let me just do this. Let me just talk about this, and then I'll probably cut stream, just to be sure. It's almost 5 p.m., so this is good. This might be the last one of the night. And I'll just wait for food. I can edit while I'm down here. Should share some classic EO soundtracks, so you can see what the DS sound chip. What is EO? Soundtrack, so you can see what the DS sound chip can really do to do. Okay, yeah. I don't know what EO means. Oh, is that whatever Odyssey or something? I'm not gonna remember acronyms, okay? I can't remember acronyms for video games I've only heard of one time. There are enough acronyms in Destiny 2 I have to remember, okay? Somebody asks me if I want to run VOG. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Somebody asks me if I want to do Ron. I'm like, who the fuck is Ron? Like, I have enough acronyms to try to remember. I can't remember other fucking acronyms for other games, goddamn. Just type the game name out if you're talking to me. All right. Let's go back to all right, we have A. Okay, so yeah. It's a 1671. Cool. And then it changes. I was wrong. It does a 6, 7, and then 3, 2, 1. Which, it's basically just using these upper two as the leading tones to drop into, back into the A. Why does it say F? Okay. Then we also get like a chromatic walk up and that little break back to it, right? Yeah. then it just does like a little thing over top of that. Watch is dead. Yeah. Then it even follows when it does that chromatic step up with the 7 sharp 7 into 1. I think this is the only, is this really? Gotta head out for today, but thank you so much for the stream. Thank you for stopping by, Queen Snarf. Thank you so much. That's it. That's the whole song. Yeah. Even worse, there's an even harder version of Shoot Up later in Rhythm Heaven DS. It gets ridiculous. Yeah, this is this one's pretty simple. This one doesn't have a lot going on. It starts, it's building off of a 1 6 7 1, right? Which, you know, would be a 6 7 8. Right? But 8 and 1 are the same note because of octaves. So it's just stepping up 3 notes in a row to get back to root. And then this also puts like in a detour where you step back up and then have to step back down into there. And then the whole chord progression just revolves around that, or doing a 6 7, or doing a 1 6 7 and then sharp 7 1. And it just alternates between those two pretty much invariably the whole time. That's all there is, and it's got some cheap MIDI guitars, crunchy DS samples that kind of just sound like GarageBand presets from 2008. You know, it's whimsical. It's got a vibe. It's trying to do something. I don't exactly know what. If I were to give this a rating, this would be a 2. This is a 2 out of 5. This is a waxing crescent. There's not a whole lot to this one. It's just some sampled guitar parts and some kind of transient melodies over top. That's all I really think about that. It is 5 p.m. Thank you for Japo for the suggestion. That was Shoot 'em Up in Rhythm Heaven. Okay, it's 5 p.m. I'm tired. I want my food. That's all I'm thinking about right now. I should probably do like a recap. Before I just dive and sign out. Thanks for having me. No, listen. Still got a couple minutes. I gotta do a recap. Only like 2 people were here when I was starting the stream. This past weekend was pretty eventful. There's a new song up for patrons on Patreon. That's something I've been staying up stupid late and like working on up until the 31st. And that is the second to last song for Stellar Side before I start releasing everything publicly. So that's, if you go to case.dog/join, you can check that out. And then, yeah, at the beginning of the stream, I did like it. And I did absolutely nothing for April Fool's Day. That was entirely uneventful. But no, everybody knows what I did for April Fool's Day. Y'all were there. Oh shit, the election's tomorrow. If you're in Wisconsin, or if you know anybody in Wisconsin, tell them to vote Janet Protasevich for Supreme Court. Now that Roe v. Wade is overturned, it's very important that local legislatures and state Supreme Courts don't get full of crazy whack jobs that want to put laws in between, like, people who need abortions and doctors who are there to make that decision. And other, oh God, a variety of other legislative things like that. So, Supreme Court elections in states that have them are really important. Wisconsin is a very swingy state. So, if you know anybody, get the vote out for Janet Protasevich. Or Protasevich. I don't know. All right. But for anybody who knows about the April Fool's thing, what's the read? How was that in general? And when would be a good idea to even do more of that? Good? Like, what could be other, like, because it would have to be, like, another occasion, right? Like, I can't just keep doing that steadily. Think you know what I thought of it? Yeah, okay. Holidays? Yeah, okay. Do I want every holiday to be associated with, like, okay, yeah, time to plan for a Plague Doctor pinup shoot. Like, there's too many holidays. They already stress me out. Why would I want to add that obligation? I mean, maybe. It would have to be specific holidays, right? It would have to be, like niche kind of... Maybe pagan holidays. Yeah, seasonal? I might end up doing seasonal. So if you subscribe for 3 months, you're fucking throwing away 2 of those months. Oh, God. Arbor Day. I don't know, it sounded like I fucking slurped when I inhaled. That was... I don't know why that sounded like that. Arbor Day. Trees. It's hip to fuck trees. God, I'm just chilling until my food gets here, honestly. Order has been dropped off. Okay, that's fucking perfect timing. All right, I'm going to sign out. I'm going to be back tomorrow with more video game music analysis. I'm probably going to do the Trauma Center one and do some other things. Have a good night, everybody. I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Good luck out there. Keep climbing. Do not look down, etc., etc., etc. Thanks for stopping by.